Okay, so we have created our crow's nest program using the new py. I'd like to point out, if I run new py with the -h flag, I'd like to point out that I can pass in a name and email that will be included in the doc string, and here it's picking up my defaults from the .newpy file in my home directory, and I can also pass in a -p purpose for the purpose that goes into the doc string. So I'd like to point out that if I were to, for instance, rerun this bin new py, and I say I want to overwrite the crow's nest, the first thing that it's going to ask me is, do I want to overwrite this? And by default, it will not overwrite it unless I tell it. I can say no, and I say, okay, will not overwrite. If I want, I can pass the -f flag, and it will. That will trigger the force overwrite, and I can give it a purpose of, let's see, it's going to basically, this is about choose the article. So if I pass that in, and I say I want to create the crow's nest, now if I look at the crow's nest, it's been updated here. This is the new version. It has taken choose the article, and it's put it here for the purpose, and it also put it here for the description of the program. So a little bit, saving you a little bit of time there in creating your new program. Now, this program, if we look at a string diagram of what this program is supposed to do, it's going to take some word, and then it's going to say, ahoy captain, an article that we need to choose, and then the word that we're given, and then off the larboard bow. For instance, given the word octopus, it's going to say ahoy captain, and octopus off the larboard bow, and given narwhal, it will say ahoy captain, a narwhal off the larboard bow. Now, I'd like to point out that this is very similar to the first version of the hello world that we wrote that took a single parameter. And in the argparse appendix, I'd like to point out that after we get through all of this material, there is a section on writing a program that takes a single positional argument. So this is it. This is the first version of the hello program. And the way that this worked was that we defined one argument, and it's positional because the name of the argument here does not have any dashes. So a single dash and a single character for the short flag, and then two dashes and a longer name for the long flag. So this is just simply name here. And so it's going to be available to us through args.name. This is the template of what we can start with for our new program. So if we look at what we have here, we don't need any of these named arguments, any of these options. We just need the positional. Now, it is not positional because the name is positional. This is just showing you that it will be a positional argument because it has no dashes in front of it. We should call this something much more interesting than positional or argument. Like here we can call it word. It's the word, it's the thing that we're going to see. And then it is a string, but we could call it object here that we're going to be looking at, and this is going to be the thing we see, or the thing that we will announce. That's what's going to be in the help. Let's see what that looks like when we run this, and now I'll need to get rid of these things here. If I save this and now run the crow's nest program with -h, I see that it takes some positional argument. It's going to be the object, the thing that we see. And it's showing up here, object. I don't know, maybe it'd be better to call it word, maybe to keep it consistent. There, word, the thing we see. We're going to give it some word. And the whole point of this is that we're going to be choosing the correct article given that word. So there's not going to be a default. This is a required argument. So if we run this with no arguments, argparse is going to say, no, you have to give me some word. One place, now that I have that working, one place that I usually start is to print something. So I can print args.word. That's the thing that I was just given. So let's run it. Okay, it's requiring me to do something, so let's give it octopus. And it's going to print octopus. Fantastic. Let's see where we are with our test suite. Let's run make test. And what it says that the file exists, great. It does create a usage statement, great. And then it says it's failing the consonant. So we need to learn how to read the test output. Here, this is the failing test. Here it's trying to assert that these two strings are equal. It got the string brigantine and it expected to see ahoy captain, a brigantine off the larboard bow. So let's make it do that. Let's take this. This is what it expects to see. It expects to see this, a, and then here is where we're going to put in arg's word. This is what it's expecting to see. Ahoy captain, a, whatever is the word, off the larboard bow. Let's save that and let's run it. A octopus off the larboard bow. Well, that's incorrect, but that's okay. Let's say frigate. Okay, ahoy captain, a frigate off the larboard bow. Okay, that's something. Let's go back and run test. We are now passing the test that is passing in consonants, both lowercase and uppercase consonant words, but we're failing when we pass in words that start with a vowel. So for instance, it's expecting to see ahoy captain, an aviso off the larboard bow, but what it's seeing is a aviso off the larboard bow. So we need to now choose a correct article. So since I'm going to be talking about the word more than once, I'm going to assign it to a variable, args.word. And here I'll just be talking about word. And I need to select an article. And so I can say, okay, I don't know what the article is going to be yet. Now, I'm going to need to figure out a way to find the right article to print. So I need to be able to figure that out. I need to look at the first letter of the word that I'm given. So I'm going to just show you a couple things that you can think about, and then I'm going to let you solve this problem on your own. Let's jump back to so we are now passing this up to here, and now we're talking about concatenating strings, which is what we just did. We're doing this in the exact same way that we did with the first version of the Hello program. And now we need to talk a little bit about the variables. So we'll do that in the next video.